Well, that is the new car on the channel. So there you have it, folks. What is happening, everybody? I am super stoked for today's video. If you didn't catch the part one of this two-part series, then definitely go back and watch that video, because that video announces what I'm in today, right now, driving down the road. And that is a 2020 Dodge Challenger Hellcat Widebody. I've been waiting 5.5 years for this moment, and me and the fiance here, we're hitting the road. We are just leaving the dealership, and well, we're driving 8 hours straight into Utah and heading back home. So this video is going to be me putting about 500 plus miles on the brand new car. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if something happens on the road, God forbid, and I'll take you along this adventure. I've never been in Colorado, so this is actually an adventure of many firsts for me, and it's something I've always wanted to do. So without further ado, let's hit the road and let's see some stellar shots of this hell-raising Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So we just surpassed 100 miles on the Hellcat. We passed Vail, which I've never been through, and that was pretty cool to see. I think that's a pretty big ski resort here in Colorado. The boredom hasn't really sunk in just yet.
Not yet.
We still got more than 6 hours to drive, so we'll see what happens. The one thing I will comment is this color is really growing on me. I mean, looking at it in just the side view mirror, it's gorgeous. The way the light hits it, I'll definitely get better shots later, but so far that's the only impression I have. We're gonna try to stop at Grand Junction and maybe get some lunch and take some cool shots, but for now, let's keep driving. All right, so we just passed 200 miles. We're coming up to a place called Parachute Battlement Mesa. So I've never heard of that place before, but that's where we are. Two things I wanted to know. First, I'm getting 19.4 miles per gallon right now, which is absolutely insane considering I have a 717 horsepower car. And the second is I wanted to talk about the break-in period on these cars. Now you saw that we went through a lot of beautiful tunnels, and unfortunately I wasn't able to let it rip and have that sound echo through the tunnel because they recommend for the first 500 miles that you go pretty light on it. And there's specific restrictions that I'm not following exactly, but you know, you're supposed to keep it below a certain RPM, a certain speed. For me, I'm just keeping it below like 3,000 RPM for the entire ride, and I'm trying to vary the RPMs along the road, and so that should break in the engine pretty well. But if you want to follow it to heart, you can look up in the user manual. I think you're supposed to keep it below like 50 miles an hour for the first 100 miles, but that's kind of hard to do, especially if you're traveling home 8 hours on the freeway. So I've been babying it really, really lightly. I've put it in the 500 horsepower mode because I don't want to risk taking it off onto 700 horsepower, or 717 I should say. And so it's been kind of a mellow and boring ride, to be honest, but that's because I want to break it in correctly. But as soon as I hit the 500 and maybe a little bit past that, I'm gonna actually make a video about the whole break-in period and just letting the car rip and go crazy. So for now, unfortunately, it's the boring 500 horsepower, which is just nothing, you know, it's kind of boring. But other than that, we got about 4.5 hours left.
4.5 hours.
And well, it's getting a little bit boring, but we'll make it through there. We're just passing West Parachute now. So let's keep driving. All right, so we just stopped at Grand Junction, Colorado. The car is looking awesome. Ignore the front end, that actually looks horrible, but that's just a bunch of bugs. I can't do anything about that. Everything else looks spectacular. I'm still super impressed about this car. This is actually the first fill up since the dealership. The dealership paid for the first one, so this is the first one that I'm paying out of pocket, but super excited to get on the road. We got about 4 hours left to get home, so hopefully get before sundown. We actually have to head that way. Making a pit stop at Jimmy John's, but gotta have the Hellcat in view. Just lurking back there. Drove all through Colorado, and this is the only place I could take a good photo, is in front of an Ace Hardware and a Jimmy John's. Unfortunately, all of the places with the pull-offs were closed down, so we couldn't get a good photo with all of the beautiful scenery. So let's blame that on Colorado and not on my lack of photography skills. So let's hit the road and we'll see you in Salt Lake City. All right, I know I keep saying that we're about to hit the road, but the fiance wanted some Starbucks. And so we are here. The one thing I wanted to point out is look how awesome and menacing that looks just on the reflection. I'm so excited. Absolutely love this car. All right, we got the Starbucks.
Got it.
We're getting back on the freeway. It's so hard not to accelerate quick on this car. Oh, so much self-restraint. All right, we just left Colorado right over there, and we are entering Utah right here. So within 20 feet, we're gonna be back in the home state. That means this car has about another 3.5 hours left. So still looking amazingly good. It's definitely filthy and dirty, but we're gonna get that cleaned up when we get home. Well, let's get back in the car, and before it's sundown, let's head that way. Alrighty, so we just surpassed 300 miles and we have about 3 hours, 15 minutes left. So it's a race to beat the sun, which is making its way down right now. I think 717 horsepower can do it, but we'll see what happens. One thing I'm gonna note at the 300 mile mark, I definitely need to tint my windows. It is way too bright in here. I feel like I'm in a fishbowl. So that is gonna be probably project number 1 of many, but let's keep driving. Well, looks like the Hellcat did not win the battle against the sun. It's getting pretty dark and we just passed 400 miles. So that means there's about 100 miles left until the last step of the break-in period really starts, which is recommended from 500 to 1500 miles. We got about 2 hours left to get home, so it's gonna be dark by the time we come home, and I'm hoping that at the 500 mile mark I'll get to do a small little pull so that way we can all enjoy it on camera. But I know it's recommended that the break-in period goes from 500 to 1500 miles. So I'm probably gonna play it easy and wait until I hit 1500 miles to really go pedal to the metal on this car. But we'll do a little bit of a pull so we can all enjoy the car. I mean, it's right here, so we might as well. I've been dying to do it for the past 400 miles. One thing I wanted to note, since I've been giving you guys updates every 100 miles, something I've noticed in the last 100 miles is that there's not really a new car smell, which I'm a little bit upset and angry about. I mean, the whole point of buying a new car is to have, well, one of the points is to have the new car smell, and unfortunately there isn't really a new car smell. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, sometimes when the air conditioning's on full blast, I can get like a little bit of a scent of something, but for the most part, it smells like, I don't know, like nothing, wouldn't you say? Is there
it just doesn't really smell like anything.
Yeah, it's really weird, and it actually makes me angry. I should probably return the car now and lose thousands of dollars because I've driven 400 miles. But that's one thing to know. And the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about is, what mods do you want to see on this car? I've already got a few ideas in my head. Hopefully I'll do those pretty soon, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts before it gets too dark and you can't even see me. Let me know in the comments below, what mods should I do on the Hellcat? One thing I just noticed right now, which was a mod I would potentially do, is the light on the steering wheel. I mean, that's really cool. Like, I've never seen that on any other manufacturer, and I've always thought that like Mercedes should do something like this, and well, Dodge did it. So that's a really cool thing that they added stock from the factory. But what do you want to see on the car? Should I do the EL wire inside the vehicle? That seemed like it was a pretty successful video, and a lot of people really like the light. But definitely shoot it down in the comments below. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to keep driving for another 2 hours. So next time you see me, it's probably gonna be pitch black, but let's keep going. All right, we're about to hit 500 miles in the Hellcat. And it's the bumpiest road ever in this entire town. And that's where we're gonna hit 500 miles. There we go, we just passed 500 miles. All right, so now that we just passed 500 miles, we're gonna get on a good patch of road, and we're gonna do a quick little pull for you all so that you can see what the SRT power really feels like. We're gonna try to take it to 4,000 RPM and see what happens.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's scary. That is pretty cool, and that's up to 4,000 RPM. So I want to see. Let's do it one more time. That is awesome. That is so awesome. Okay, well we're gonna stop it right there. We're not gonna go crazy here. We're gonna wait. Maybe we'll see if we can wait another 1,000 miles, but it's probably gonna be a little bit less than that, and then we're gonna really hear what this thing sounds like. So stay tuned. We're about to head to my parents and surprise my mom and my brother with well, the new car that I went out to get today. All right, so we just made it to my parents' house. We're gonna try to surprise my brother and my mom, who have no idea that I'm going to be doing this. So let's open up the garage and see their reaction. Oh, shit. Are you serious?
Yeah. That's what I thought. When you said that, I realized.
Holy crap! That's crazy! It's a Hellcat. I knew you were up to something. I thought you were going to get like a little
He said to
project
me,
car.
he's up to something. He's up to something.
So I gotta tell you guys the whole story. I'm blown. That's insane.
Do you believe when he said let's go out?
Take a look.
I thought it was going to be like you had an old project car that he was about to show us.
Take a look inside.
Armaz,
Holy shit.
you will do LED over here too?
Yeah, maybe. I think so, if I can fit it.
Is it new?
Brand new.
Brand new? Oh shit! That's so cool!
Oh my god.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's so cool.
Thank
You
you.
got the carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's like a fake, but it's got suede over here.
Nice, dude. Well, I mean, your old one was decked out too.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's yours was all top of the line
Congratulations,
anyway.
gentlemen.
That's awesome, dude.
So awesome.
Oh my god, I don't know how to feel. I'm excited, but then I'm also sad.
I know. I'll tell you
Oh
the
my
whole
god, the
story.
emotion.
A little different.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm
If you said let's go outside, I immediately knew you went to buy that car because you were talking about it. How you didn't think?
What do you think?
It's so comfortable.
Yeah.
Color.
The color is amazing.
Color is beautiful.
Oh,
like
it's not
that.
black.
No,
I saw it's a triangular purple.
It's called Hellraisin. So it's a purple color.
In the sun though, it's insane. Like
Yeah.
pictures don't do
Armais, I
justice.
love the color. The color is awesome.
All right, well, that finishes up today's video. It's needless to say, it's probably one of the most eventful days of my life. I mean, I accomplished 3 firsts that I've never done before. One thing I've always wanted to do is fly somewhere, pick up the car, and drive it back, and I accomplished that today. The second is I've always wanted to get a Hellcat. I've waited 5.5 years for it, and that was accomplished today. And the third thing was maybe a little bit more minor, but that is to drive through Colorado on a little bit of a road trip, and that was accomplished today as well. So I am dead tired. Obviously, I am very excited and proud and amazed, and I still can't believe that this car is mine. But a part of me is also a little bit upset and sad because I know that that means I'm gonna have to say goodbye to the Destroyer Gray 392 Hemi Scat Pack Shaker. And I know to a lot of people that's gonna sound silly because this car has so much more horsepower and it's more expensive, it's got the wide, there's a lot of things you can say. But this car has a very special place in my heart. It's always been amazing to me. I've always loved it, especially with the shaker hood. That was one of the reasons that I never went for a Hellcat, is because I love that shaker. And it's gonna be very difficult for me to say goodbye to this car. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think this color is almost as good, if not better, than this Hellraisin. Now, obviously, I've owned it for 2.5 years, so I feel a little bit differently about this than this. I'm sure it will grow more on me, but I'm going to have to make sure I find a good owner for this car, someone who's gonna take care of it even more than I do. That's gonna be very important in the selling process. And for tonight, we're gonna leave them side by side, but it is pretty sad in that sense. But of course, I am extremely excited and I can't wait to start doing some stuff to this car because it's something I've just dreamed about and it's finally here in my garage. I'm gonna cut the chit chat. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 and part 2 of this series of buying a Hellcat. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell too so you can stay up to date on all of the Hellcat news. And if we hit 8,000 subs before the end of this year, we're gonna be doing an awesome giveaway. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Also find me on Instagram at Shwazy_. Stay Shwazy, stay healthy, and thank you so much for watching.